My name is Peter Gaudiomonte. This is my first time here at SharkFest, and I just want to say thank you to everyone that has made this possible. This has been such an amazing opportunity and experience. So I'm here today to share my experience baking bread. And there we go. All right. So I started baking bread in 2019 because about 6 months prior to that, I woke up with stage 5 kidney failure out of the blue one morning, looked like the Michelin Man. And it took me about 6 months to figure out what I could eat and what I could not eat. And if you look at all those ingredients in the store-bought bread, those were the things that weren't sitting well with me. Like I didn't understand it at first, but every time I ate anything that was in the center aisles of the supermarket, I couldn't keep it down. So every day, I just kept losing more weight and more weight and more weight. And even here, look at the price difference. You can see that baking your own bread, 31 cents per loaf compared to almost $4 a loaf. And let's go to the next one here. So here's like a basic template of baking bread. You start off with your flour is like your base. And so everything is based off that. And so it doesn't matter how much flour you have, you can use this recipe to bake with. So your starter, like you see here in that time lapse, is 20% of it. I usually stick with a 67% hydration, which is really easy for beginners because it's not sticky. It's easy to work with. And what's cool about water and the metric system is 1 gram of water is equal to 1 milliliter. So any volumetric measurements, I could use a scale and just measure that. And so I use about 67% hydration. Salt is 2%. You always want to use salt or else your bread will taste disgusting. And any inclusions, I like using rosemary from my garden. I try it, I leave it out for a few days to let it dry. And I usually bake 4 loaves at a time, and it's really easy. I don't need any special equipment. I actually use Ziploc containers, like Tupperware containers, 4 of them, to proof my bread. And I get 4 loaves per batch, basically. And what's cool is I made this time lapse out of a Raspberry Pi, and I used FFmpeg to cut it up and turn it into a GIF. And here's the basic the basic process of baking bread. First, you take that starter and you mix it with water, right? And you take that slurry, you mix it in with all the dry ingredients, and you let it sit for about 30 minutes so all the enzymes can work its magic. And then the next step is stretch and fold. So every 30 minutes, you take the bread, you pull, stretch, fold it a few times, let it rest for another 30 minutes. And you do this over a 2-hour period, and that builds the gluten structure. And then what I do is I cut it into fourths, and that's when I stick it in the Ziploc containers after shaping. And that's when I start proofing the bread. So it depends on if you want to proof it in a warm environment, that speeds up the process. But I usually like to put it in the fridge, which slows fermentation. And that gives a lot of different flavors, different enzymes. And the longer you proof it, the easier it is for people with diabetes or any kind of sugar intolerance to eat it, because simple sugars turn into complex sugars. As you can tell, it is a process of getting it right. And it really doesn't matter what you do, it is still going to be delicious, even if it looks like crap. It's amazing. Like it could look like that, and it is still way better than any bread you get at a restaurant. And so here, that is pretty much it. I love baking focaccia bread. That's my favorite because you can make sandwiches with like basil, tomato, pesto, and I love that. But if you want to see any more things, any of my blogs or any of my baking or any of my Raspberry Pi projects, you can go on my Medium link, and I'll post this up on the Discord for anybody interested. All right. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.